Hello, I'm Misty Lee, and I'm back with my thoughts on Chapter 2 in The Science of Getting Rich. So, thanks again for watching. A quick review in case you didn't watch the video on Chapter 1. Wallace Wattles is the author, and he's way ahead of his time because he wrote this book in 1910. So before we dive into the details of Chapter 2, I want to provide some thoughts on how to get the most out of this book. So number one, Kryon talks about the smart body or the innate and how by talking to it, we can change our cellular structure. I know, sounds weird if this is the first time you're hearing about him. So because of this, he emphasizes speaking out loud to your smart body rather than silently thinking inside your head. So you're going to have more of a transformation if you can read this book out loud. Number two, to make it more applicable, replace the references that have the words you and your with I. Again, this is reinforcing the belief in your subconscious even more when you use the word I. And number three, this book makes few references to women, so I went ahead and replaced all the sentences that reference men with the word she and woman and so on. I'm sure there's a little bit of a bias towards men since this was written in the early 1900s. This is the first sentence in Chapter 2, which is very powerful. Who would think that getting rich is a matter of science? I'm sure many believe that it's the people who are just plain lucky, or maybe they grew up with a silver spoon in their mouth. But according to Wattles, getting rich is scientific because there are certain laws that govern the process of getting wealthy. This is one of the main ideas in this chapter. Wattles claims that getting rich is not a matter of environment. If this was true, then everyone in a certain neighborhood would be rich, or the people of one city would be rich, while those of other towns would be poor. He also talks about how talent does not necessarily determine if a person will get rich. He says many people who have great talent remain poor, while others who have little talent can get rich. This was the point that I think is most interesting. It indicates deeper issue in those who have great talent and who are poor may have low self-esteem and confidence levels. But as we move on through the chapters, you're going to see how important faith is to manifesting money. So Wattles claims that those with little talent who get rich do so by doing things in a certain way. I love this quote, and it is quite humorous. He says it like it is. I'm sure we all know people that have a lot of money, and we wonder, how is this possible? Just a side note, this isn't in the book, but something I've learned along the way. If you resent other people's success or have certain negative judgments about rich people, then you're actually blocking your own success. Remember, karma is a very real thing. You're telling the universe that you are basically against success and getting rich. Now, I've heard many people in my own life talk about those rich people who suck, yet they wonder why they're broke all the time. How awesome is this statement? Stop the negative thinking that you can never be rich. That is just in that it's not in the cards for you. Wattles claims that people get rich in every profession while their next door neighbors remain in poverty. It's all about doing things in a certain way. Of course, some common sense must be used. If you're a musician and try to open up a tire shop, you probably won't do too well. Or if you open up a dive shop in the middle of the desert, that probably won't do well either. Now, aside from these factors, getting rich, according to Wattles, is not dependent upon you engaging in some particular business, but instead learning how to do things in a certain way. Like causes produces like effects. So you could be the poorest person on the planet, but once you start doing things in a certain way, you must infallibly begin to get rich. So in a nutshell, according to Wattles, when you do things in a certain way, you cannot fail to get rich. It's not a matter of environment or skill. So next week in Chapter 3, we're going to discuss if opportunity is monopolized. Then in Chapter 4 begins the heart of the book. This will be the first principle of getting rich. If you like my videos and like this series, then please subscribe. I'm going to definitely do my best to get out one a week and to keep going on this series. I just love this book. It was really helped me to like retrain my brain about money in general. So you are awesome. Thanks again for watching. And as always, have an amazing day.